Welcome to Licensing and Compliance Part 2. Okay everybody, some words of encouragement for you. There's a lot of stuff here. You guys are taking all this in a short amount of time, which took me months to do, by the way, and years to understand it. So you can liken it to basically like a test, okay? You guys have an open book test. You guys have the answers right here. I'm laying out the answers. You're taking the test. Here's the answers right here. I'm giving you the answers to everything, okay? Sure, there's gonna be some things you're gonna have to figure out on your own, but I'm giving you the path. Yes, I had an open book test too, but I didn't even know what book the test was gonna be on. Okay, guys. All right, to recap a little bit from the last video, the licenses that you're gonna need right away are basically, well, one, you're gonna have to incorporate. And like I said, if you're gonna do all this by yourself, you can use your social security number. You don't have to do that yet. You can actually incorporate anytime, but it makes it a lot easier to do it in the beginning, to get it over with. You don't have to change anything later. And like I said, it's not that difficult to do. Your BAR, Bureau of Automotive Repair license, you're gonna need that thing. And your city business license, you're gonna need that. So these are the main things you're gonna need pretty much right off the bat. A lot of this stuff I collected along the way. I didn't have all this other stuff we're gonna talk about, not even close. So you guys are probably gonna be a small facility compared to say like a big dealership. You probably won't get an official coming in until probably the second year in. So I wouldn't worry about anything. And by the way, if you do get an official in, whether it be the EPA, KUPA, fire department, city, whatever, there's a lot of shops that treat those guys poorly. And guess who has the power? Those people. So they can make your life miserable or they can make your life very pleasant. All right, EPA license. This you can file online once you have all this stuff here. You're gonna need that because if you're doing oil services or anything with fluids that you need to be disposed of in a proper way, and that means also washer fluid tanks or parts washer tanks as well, stuff like that, you're gonna need someone to come pick it up. So you have to get an EPA license. You can get it online. It's real easy. Online, there's tons of categories. It's just overwhelming, but just pick the one for basically toxic waste disposal. And just do the bare minimum, because later if someone comes in, they'll say, hey, you need this too and that, and you just say, okay, I'll do that. But just get the bare minimum thing. It's toxic waste disposal, and you have to mark down how much you do a year. Just put the bare minimum. They don't charge you. It's just a documentation. But you have to have it. It does need to be written on your oil disposable drums that you get sent out, where people pick up your old oil waste disposal. Guys, your first year, you can use AutoZone for a while and just kind of dump it with them. They're gonna catch on pretty quick, but it buys you some time, you know? And guys, these guys that pick up this toxic waste, by the way, they're all over the place. We get 4 people trying to compete with our business all the time. So they're out there. You just have to do a little bit of research. Over here, they charge from anywhere from $30 to $70 to pick up a drum of oil, a 55-gallon drum. They actually provide the drums for you, so don't feel like you have to buy a drum. And again, your EPA number will have to be on there, and most of those people that pick up your oil will have a big sticker that they put on the drum, and they just put your number on there is all. Another license we didn't know we needed, I didn't even know existed, by the way, was KUPA. KUPA is kind of like a fire department, but for the county. It's almost like a fire department OSHA thing mixed together. When they came by, we were on our 3rd year in business already. They didn't want to see our fire extinguishers. They didn't want to see our eye wash station. Their main thing was they wanted to see a rag management system, like with your dirty rags. They wanted to see a fire escape route. They wanted to see MSDS, which is a little packet with all the chemicals and what to do in case they get in your eye, who to call, basically. You guys probably have that if you work at a dealership. I just attach it to the inside of our cabinet, no big deal. They didn't even look through it, they just said, okay, you have one, awesome. The manifest, this one was a big deal. I can't believe that I had one already. This is basically a folder that you keep at all times, because they can come in and ask for it, and it's basically receipts of every time you've gotten your toxic waste picked up, whether that be used coolant, used oil, mop bucket water, and parts wash stations. Some states, guys, are a lot more involved in this whole thing than others. We're in Southern California, so need I say more? Another one is city fire department. Some cities subcontract out through the county. This was no big deal. We've gotten a couple of visits from the fire department. They think it's really neat to come inside the shop and just kind of look around and chat with you. Every time the fire department has come by, it's been a very pleasant experience. If I need something or lacking something, they're way cool, and they just say, hey, you know, just do this, and next time, just send me a picture if you did it, and I don't need to come by again. The guys are super cool. Now, that might not be everyone's experience, but that was ours. Now, if you've been in the automotive business, you probably have your AC license. If you have a machine, keep a log. Just write the VIN number and how many pounds that you took in and out of each car. If you buy a brand new AC machine, they usually come with a log. I have never had anyone ask for this license, but I have one. So these are the main ones that you'll need eventually. Start trying to get them your first year. There are a lot of other auto repair shops that don't have all these things. In our complex, we're street front. We have both front buildings, and then there's a bunch of buildings go all the way back. So because we're street front, guess what? They're gonna use us as an example, so we have to make sure we have all our stuff together. The cool thing is all the other shops will look up to you. They realize, man, they have all their stuff, their compliance. They kind of look at you as like a big brother. It's pretty cool. A lot of these businesses, if they see an official come, they close shop, they push their customers out, they work at night, a lot of them, so they don't have to deal with this stuff. Guys, if you're doing that, you are not gonna grow. You will not grow. You have to play the game to be able to grow, guys. And it's really not that hard, just do it. Just do it. Once you have it, you pretty much have it. Some stuff is annually, you have to redo. Big deal, just make a note of it, put it in your calendar, whatever, it's not a big deal. But this is the only way you can grow. If you're always hiding from this stuff, you will never grow, I promise you that. Some of the other stuff you're gonna need as far as supplies, we didn't have steel cabinets in the beginning, I couldn't afford them. I eventually saved money and we got steel cabinets. That was a big one. This is required because all your chemicals need to be stored in some kind of steel container, and that way if there's a fire or whatever, it snuffs it out, and plus it's steel. Guys, I washed machine. I bought kind of a big machine. They have little things now. Just get the bare minimum on that. The fact, if you get an official coming in and they see you have an iWash machine and you're a small shop, they're gonna say, wow, these guys are trying, because I guarantee no other little shop has anything like that, and if they do, it's just hideous. Fire extinguisher, that's a must. Come on, guys, you gotta have a fire extinguisher. They have to have tags, they have to be updated every year. There's companies, once they realize you're open, all these companies that service all this stuff are gonna be fighting for your business. Half of the stuff I didn't have to go look for. They all just came to me soliciting. So fire extinguishers, they gotta be around 4 feet high. Look at your state standards on that. You know, someone in a wheelchair's gotta be able to grab it, but obviously you don't want it on the floor. They can't be on the floor, they have to be hung up. You have to have a sign showing where it's at. Not a big deal. Escape route map. This one we didn't know. When KUPA paid us a visit, they said, where's your escape route map? And at this time, we had this small shop, and it's like, escape route map, excuse me. So for this one, they find us for that one. We didn't have a license, and the license was $800. So they said, tell you what, if you pay for the license and show me that you have an escape route map, send me a picture, email me a picture, then we won't worry about it. That's what I did, and so we're cool. Spill kit, officials will be impressed if you have a spill kit. The fact that you have the knowledge to have something like that. You will probably never use it. If you do, you can refill it. So it looks kind of cool sitting in the corner. DrumSpill catches. So these are kind of like a tray where your 55-gallon drums sit on, and just in case if it gets a puncture, it can contain all that fluid. It has to be on used and new, in California anyway. Check your state stuff. You might not actually need one, or you just might need a drip pan. But in California, they require us to be able to contain 100% of whatever spills out. So if you get a puncture and 55 gallons comes out, we have to be able to contain that. Some states are different. You only have to contain 20%, whatever, just look it up. Again, most shops don't have that. They'll get dinged for that. A rag management system, that's a no-brainer. Your used and dirty rags, you can't throw them away. They can't be on the ground. They have to be in a special thing. So if you have a uniform company that you want to use, we don't have a uniform company, but we do pay for a rag management system. It's super cheap. You got to have it. It's convenient anyway. Another thing, guys, this is your bread and butter, your hoists. Your hoist is what makes you money. You need to keep them, you need to have them serviced yearly. And all they do is basically come out and they check it out, they adjust stuff that needs to be adjusted, lube stuff that needs to be lubed, fix whatever needs to be fixed. Again, most shops don't do this. Guys, this is extremely important. Not only one, to have the license, they put special stickers and things on there. And officials do make sure there's the proper stickers on there, like load capacity, things like that. We bought brand new hoists, so I had all the stickers. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't even know about that until they said. but it does need the sticker and the date of when it was last serviced and certified. It's very important. And guys, this thing is your bread and butter. This is what makes you money. So if you service this thing yearly, it's gonna last you longer. It just makes sense, guys, come on. Guys, one step at a time. It really is easy. Once you have it all, it's a no big deal. This will allow you to grow. Other shops and other people will look up to you for having this stuff. They will think you are very professional. They will say those guys are legit. Word gets around. It's a win-win all the way around, guys. So yes, these officials kind of seem like a mafia. You have to pay them money so you can keep doing business. But in reality, you have to pay to play, okay? If you get an official that comes in here, just act cool. Don't be rude to them. Don't be mean to them. There's a lot of shop owners that have this pride and say, how dare you come in here and disrupt my day-to-day. Do not do that. These guys deal with grouchy business owners all day. It will be refreshing to them if you say, hey, you know, I'm here to learn. I'm here to do what you need me to do. Just comply with them. Treat them like the police. You know, show them some respect because their job is not fun. I promise you, they will love you for that. And they will treat you with kindness and mercy in most cases. It's all about learning, guys, gaining knowledge. It's really important. Don't be afraid to gain knowledge. All right, I hope you took some notes on this thing, guys. I will see you on the next video.